Good morning and welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Friday. So glad you are here. I really am. These Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons I picked up from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message starts with a question. What do you think about scarfing down a handful of Chilean sea bass crackers? No? Well, what about goldfish? I bet CJ from the West Wing would try them, especially since they're the same thing. Goldfish recently announced that they're going to be temporarily changing their name to appeal to adult consumers. Well, consumers took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. The limited edition crackers are about 750ish for 2 bags. Well, on Wednesday, they flew off the shelves like red wigglers from WKRP. I'm telling you. They sold out. And they've even rebranded their website, ChileanSeaBassCrackers.com. And apparently they've said that they're going to have new drops of inventory through October 30th, my wife's birthday, by the way. Um, it when I first saw it, I was now. I mean, we all know it's stunt casting, right? It's a stunt rebrand, right? Sort of like when IHOP said that they were changing their name to IHOB, right? And they actually did it. They didn't change permanent signage, but they had menus. I mean, they had websites. They had everything on Twitter. It was Twitter then. It's still Twitter. Come on, even though it's called X. Yeah, talk about your stunt rebranding. Um, let's take more than a decade of branding and just stop using it. Anyway, um, so you got goldfish, you got Chilean sea bass crackers, you got IHOB. Um, Here's where business branding and stunt casting, stunt branding, stunt PR jobs all sort of mesh together. Um, in 1998, there was this budding entrepreneur, a guy named Peter Shankman. Well, he didn't have a whole lot of cash. In fact, he had an idea and he used his rent money um, to print up 500 T-shirts, and he sold them outside of the movie Titanic, and they were wildly popular. Now, what did the T-shirts say? I mean, why would people buy T-shirts? Like flying off the shelves like red wigglers, huh? Well, they said a very simple message. It sank. Get over it. That's all it said. Um, I mean, of course, everybody knew from history the Titanic sank, but this movie was bigger than Elvis, right? At least for a while. So he had this idea, and he goes out there and he sells them on the street, and he sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these T-shirts. Now, he apparently he only needed to sell about 180 of them to get his money back, break even. Well, he sold all 500 of them. Well, being a PR guy at heart, he reached out to USA Today. It ended up on the front page, and during the article, the reporter had asked him, "Well, okay, do you have a website so people can buy this?" He said, "Absolutely." He didn't have a website, so he put one together on the fly. He ended up selling 10,000 shirts, made about $100,000 in profit, and that's how he created his first PR agency. Peter Shankman, huge success. Look him up. Um, so that was a stunting idea in the world of PR. And again, this whole goldfish thing, it is a stunt. They're not going to keep the name Chilean sea bass crackers. Um, and if you've got it in your head that they're going to be worth something, they're not. If you're buying them for the novelty because you think it's funny, great. If you think they're going to be a Beanie Baby, um, and people are going to pay you a bunch for them, they might in the short run, but how much are those Beanie Babies worth now? Come on. So, IHOP, IHOB, Goldfish, Chilean sea bass. They were popular. People talked about them. In fact, IHOP saw a spike in their sales, right? And maybe some people tried burgers that they'd never tried before. I don't know about you, but I go to IHOP. I'm getting pancakes. Although I don't go to IHOP anymore because they stopped selling my favorite kind of pancakes. They used to have a pancake there. It was called the country griddle cakes, and it actually had uh, cream of wheat mixed in with the batter. It's fantastic. They don't make them anymore, so I don't go there anymore. So living in Austin, where do I go? Kirby Lane, of course. I mean, Kirby's got the best pancakes in the world. I will tell you, they suck up syrup like a sponge, so be prepared for that. If you've never had them before, Kirby Lane. Anyway, so you got IHOB, you got Goldfish, you got Chilean sea bass crackers. Now, these are stunt branding, stunt eventing that worked. Well, what about those that don't? The biggest one that springs to mind is New Coke. 1984 ish, give or take. Forgive me for not remembering the exact year. Um, Not a huge success. In fact, people hated New Coke. Um, that they changed the formulation, they pulled Coke off the shelf, rebranded it there for a while as New Coke, and then they got rid of the word new and they added silver to the line, the Coca Cola swirl and all of that. But people hated it. Even though blind test tastes for months and months before they pulled the trigger on this showed that people liked it. They liked it when they didn't know what it was. They wanted their Coke. So what did Coke do? They pivoted. Now, some people, the cynics, would say they planned to do it all along. They were starting to lose ground to Pepsi and the cola wars. I don't know. Everything I've read was no, this is the way that we wanted to do it. We wanted new Coke. We didn't mean to bring back Coca-Cola Classic as they rebranded it, but they did. And there for a while you could get Coke or Coca-Cola Classic. And when they brought back Coca-Cola Classic, everybody's like, "Oh man, this is great." Dirty little secret, they changed the formulation just a touch. Um, if you want original Coke, now you have to go look for Mexican Coca-Cola. Because when they brought it back with, you know, different ingredients. Mexican Coke is still the real thing, as they would like to say. So what does all this tell us about your personal branding, your personal lifestyle? If you are a talented professional, but maybe you're struggling to stand out, use your brand to be memorable, but don't stunt. Be authentic in your personal brand. And what is branding? Present yourself, your values, your connections. It's who you are, what you represent, what you do, all of that wrapped up in how you present yourself to the public, your personal brand. So, define your value proposition. You know, tell people who you are, what you stand for. Craft your personal narrative. Build your online presence. Network strategically and be authentic and consistent. Okay? Do those things and you don't have to resort to the stunting. You don't have to try to be a Chilean sea bass cracker. You don't even have to try to be New Coke. And then at the end of the day, do you want to be any of those? No. You want to be yourself. That's what branding is all about. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you find it helpful. Give me a like, a follow, and a share if you found it interesting or helpful. I would appreciate it if you would let folks know. We do these live casts, live streams every morning between 6:30, 7:45ish, and then post them elsewhere all over the internet. Basically, if it's on social media, Red Mike Messages is probably there, except TikTok. I still, again, visceral thing about TikTok, and I'm not on Threads either. But look for me everywhere else. I appreciate you so very much. I hope you have a fantastic Friday. I hope you have an even better weekend, and I hope your Friday starts out better than mine did. Uh, got my got one of my watches back. I've got some Invicta watches, and I'd taken them to get the batteries changed and whatnot. One of them actually wasn't working. The stem popped off in my hand and wouldn't change the time. The time still worked though. Well, this morning I noticed it was gaining time. It was about 4 minutes fast. So I go to change it, stem popped off in my hand again. So I get to make an angry call to Invicta later today. Hopefully it doesn't impact the rest of my day. Again, I appreciate you being here. Please give me a like, a follow, and a share. Again, these Red Mike Messages are for you. I thank you so much for being here. I'll see you again Monday. Have a great weekend, and don't forget, life is short. Drink that bourbon.